Here we go. Who is Tom Segura? That is a question that I'm always trying to answer myself. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm a comedian, and I'm just trying to make it through this life. I'm no better than you. I'm just a lot funnier, and I do a lot more cool shit than you do. That's it. It's the only difference. What did Tom Segura do before comedy? I worked in post-production on reality shows. I was a logger, which sounds like I'm hauling wood through the forest, but what it means is that you type everything said on the raw footage of a reality show. It is absolutely mind-bending work. I was a post-production coordinator. I worked in a pizza shop. I was a site rep, which means that you would show up to a building and just make sure that production people didn't destroy it, like these guys did here today. Yeah, I did those until I was making enough to support myself as a full-time stand-up, which I would say took about 9 years before I didn't have to have any, at least, side work. When did Tom Segura, let's see here, start comedy? I started comedy in 2002. I have it on tape. I've never watched it. Maybe I'll put it out soon. I'm sure it's pretty bad. When did Tom Segura get famous? My first special came out on Netflix in 2014, and it's called Completely Normal, and that definitely changed my touring life. And then with each subsequent special, it increased. Podcasting became much more popular, and so it's just been kind of year by year, which I think is probably the better way to get some type of recognition from people. It's probably better than an explosion of popularity. And I mean, after this interview, I'm probably gonna be way more famous.
I get why you laugh at my physical flaws. Physical flaws are funny. They just are. Disabilities are not. But some are. Most aren't. We know those ones, you know? Like if there's a 10K or a quilt, it's pretty bad. But
I don't know how this is gonna turn out, guys, but
the rest are up for debate.
I can't think of any.
If you're sitting here and you're like, whoa, when is it ever funny?
Yes.
Well, luckily for you, I have 3 examples. First, foreign accent syndrome. Some of you know about it. Some of you don't. It's real. You can look it up on your way out of here.
Yeah, like you don't.
Some people experience head trauma.
Okay.
Not funny.
Right.
But they wake up speaking their native language with a foreign accent.
Oh, that's
Very funny. I defy you to watch interviews with these people and not piss yourself laughing. Do you understand? Like a farmer in Alabama who's normally like, that guy hits his head and is now like, tractor trailer, That's not funny to you, you piece of shit, really? The best case ever of foreign accent syndrome happened in the UK.
Yes, I know about this.
Not only was it a British woman who lived her entire life in the UK, she'd never left the town she was born in for 33 years. She was in an accident, and she woke up speaking English, but with a Chinese foreign accent. Did you hear what I just fucking said? Do you now believe in God and his awesome sense of humor? A British lady who her whole life was like, hello, it's a bit of a whiffle, isn't it? Like that. Now says, I have not had my conversation, boys, and they talk about you. First of all, do you know how hard it is to do that impression without squinting?
That's a good joke. That's a good joke.
If you're getting uncomfortable, like, whoa, he's mocking an Asian accent? No, she's white. This is fine. A white British lady just happens to say, would you like a cup of tea? Taste good? You want milk? You want biscuit?
That's too funny, man.
You want me to suck a dick? She's a nice British lady. She can say whatever she wants. Now, if you're sitting in your seat right now and you're like,
Well, this is getting good, guys. Right.
I don't think it's funny.
Right.
Well, don't get your tits in a tussle. I got 2 more for you.
Yeah, that's good. There we go.
What about persistent genital arousal disorder? That is a fancy way of saying never not coming.
Right.
These are people that have orgasms every 90 seconds.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And they can't have jobs. Why can't they have jobs, Tom? Because they're coming all the time. It's not appropriate.
Oh, no.
For you to be like, can I try on this shirt? And the guy's like, fuck your shirt. I'm gonna wear my own shit. I'm not wearing your fucking shirt.
That is horrible though, man.
This is good, man. I love
Can you imagine, like, oh, we're out of orange juice? Or just bring water. That's too much sugar. I don't want any water.
Oh man.
Some people suffer from both of those afflictions.
No.
You know that? That's rare, but it happens. Can you imagine that? They're like, you just walk up to someone, you're like, oh, I'm sorry to hear about your dad passing away. And he's like, that feels good. I made that one up. That's not true. But that was cheap, but that was fun. Now, still not on board with this. How about an old, reliable one? You know, how about Tourette syndrome? Yeah. Maybe you've heard of that. You haven't? I'll tell you. When I was in 5th grade, my parents sent me to a new school on a Wednesday. I'll never forget. It was a Catholic school, and on Wednesdays, they had Mass. So picture you're a new student at a new school, you don't know anybody, and the first thing you're doing is you're going to church. So I walk in, and the priest starts the service. He goes, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the kid in the row in front of me goes, fuck your cunt. Nobody did anything, no one batted an eye. He just goes, Holy Spirit, starts reading from the Bible. This kid goes, lick my balls! Fuck you. I am laughing so goddamn hard. But I know I'm not supposed to laugh. It sounds like I'm having a stroke. I'm 10. I'm like, I have tears running down my face. And finally I'm able to get out. How come nobody else is laughing? And the kid next to me goes, he's got Tourette's. It gets old. 3 years I was at that school. That shit never got better. The greatest gift God ever bestowed upon me. And I'll tell you this.
Go ahead.
The greatest day of my life, up until the day my son was born, was the day we had a substitute teacher that year, and they didn't warn her about him. Your imagination is serving you correctly. It was glorious. I watched a 10-year-old boy break a grown woman's spirit. These poor substitutes, they don't know what's going on in your class, you know? She walked in, somehow they didn't tell her, and she's like, read chapter 3. And then his tics would build, meaning they would start small. So he would sit in class and be like, "Hup." So she goes, what's going on? And we're like, she doesn't know. And he would do this every day. He would take markers and paint his own shirt. Again, every day he did it, but she doesn't know about it. So she sees it. She's like, what are you doing? He goes, what do you think, bitch? Ah! Then he starts painting his face with the marker. And she goes, stop that. And he goes, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. Fuck you. And she's like, what's happening? What's happening? And we go, that's Kevin. Why are you crying so much right now? Well, she killed herself. She's dead. So. She's out of teaching, but she's fine. So.
For sure.
Bye.